All right, welcome guys, welcome Patreon. It is 8/26/2022. It is 9:33 a.m. How are you, Austin Lane?
I am doing wonderful. I got over, I had COVID about a couple weeks ago and finally got over that. So I'm doing really good right now.
No, man, I think I don't know if I've told you that or not, but I think I had it twice, but I didn't test because I was just scared to death that my nerves would kill me. Like I'd think I was dying every 5 minutes. But I had about 2 weeks of just really bad, and then again 2 weeks. But I've been no, this is not COVID talk, but I was vaccinated, so I think it did help me a little bit because of that. Let's talk real quick. Me and you was at the Paragocon with you and Nikki. I was with y'all. I want to thank you and Nikki again. That was a fun time, right?
It really was. It was good to hang out with you and meet a lot of fans of Memphis wrestling and just to me, I'm a big nerd anyways, so and I know you're a big nerd too. So looking around, and I spent a lot of money. I bought some really cool items, but it was really cool just hanging out with you.
Yeah, you said Nikki came back over and got the stuff and left, and you was at the front door. I said, well, did he get anything? She said, he's going to have to do some OT hours this week. So there you go.
Yeah.
It was fun, and I just, like I told you, I hadn't done a gimmicks table in just years, but when I got back, I told the wife, I said, it was so fun watching Nikki and Austin work. I say work, but it really is. You absolutely love the fans. Nikki always came from behind the table at all events, not just this one. And she takes pictures with the fans. One girl came up with the belt, and Nikki made such a big deal about that. And then some girl, and I thought this was so funny. This one girl was talking to you about, I remember when you was wrestling, blah, 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 blah. And you was going right with it. Yeah, I was there. And then when she left, you said, I don't remember anything she's talking about.
Yeah, it's one of those. I told Nikki it was my superpower. When somebody comes up and they talk about, I remember this or that, and you remember me, we were at, 20-something years ago, we were in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and I remember every bit of that, and just it's my superpower. I'm able to kind of go along with the story and remember everybody like that. It's one of those where you want to make sure every time you meet a fan, you want to make sure that they have that experience that they're going to remember forever, that, they feel special, because even them coming out to see us makes us feel so special.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's the first time I've been behind the table and being as a guest. That was just an honor for me. Another one of those things that probably would have never happened if it would have been for Memphis Wrestling. So it's really a big deal to me. I was going to ask you because I hear this from a lot of guys that work for years. Like your fans will come up to them and ask them about certain matches, and the matches mean more to the fans than they kind of do to some of the guys because you don't remember everything. Is there matches that people come up to you and you're going, man, I don't remember even being there that night or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, there really is. That old saying that heels or even some baby faces will use in a promo about saying that this match or this night, whatever, was one of the highlights of your life. And for me, it was just another Friday night. I mean, it's one of those deals. We're creating moments over and over, like so many different times in many different states and cities and against different opponents and everything. And but each fan, they are from that area. They came out to watch you, and they
may have only went to wrestling one time. That might have been the only time they went, and that was very special to them. That was a big deal to them. And you're right. My problem is, like, I can almost put together, like say me and you sit down and I'll say, well, I remember, Austin, this is when the first time we met, we worked on this show together, blah, blah, blah. But then it gets real hazy, like which match came before that match, which order was it in. I'm like that with regular wrestling too. Like I when it comes to years, there's some people who can tell you exact dates, exact years. My buddies at P3 Radio, they do a comedy wrestling podcast. And Josh is like, yep, that was 1989, Starcade, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, damn, I can't put stuff in order unless maybe it's old Memphis Wrestling. They did this angle before they did that angle. But yeah, I can't imagine because you've done, I was on the road for 5 years. So in the first year we did, the first 9 months we did 100 dates. So we were busy. This ain't an old timer saying we did 500 dates in 200 days. But it was a lot. 100 dates is a lot in this area in 9 months. And I used to have a list of everything. Did you ever think about doing that? About making a list like Jericho did?
I really did. Probably a year or two into wrestling, I thought about, I should write down like all of these different matches and who won and where we were at and stuff like that. And then after a while, because I've been wrestling for 24 years, and as far as like traveling, like on the road, I probably did, I would say close to 17 years of it, 16, 17 years, 18 years of nonstop, where it was, anywhere between, I think the lowest was usually around 3 or 4 dates a week, and the highest, there for a while, and not necessarily dates, but like shows, like, because I would always do Thursday night, or we did Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday during the day, Saturday at night, Sunday during the day, and Sunday at night. And every once in a while we'd have an extra one that we would get, we can need double shot on a Friday night or a Saturday night. So it got to a point.
With 3 dates, if we could get 3 dates a week, the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday was always in Gibson, Tennessee. I'd take them over there and do the Sunday afternoon date, come home. And then because we had, everybody has a shoot job, but we had a shoot job. So we're leaving our job on Friday. You know this routine. You leave your job on Friday night. And when you go back to work on Monday, I don't think I've ever talked about this on any of the podcasts, but when you go back to work to your shoot job on Monday, it is such a fucking depression that you will never know. You walk through work and there's no crowd. There's no anything. It's a really weird feeling that you say, for those 3 days, I was a wrestling superstar, but now I'm just PT. So that's the way it is. All right, man, let's get started. I want to tell you, there's a lot of matches in Raw's history that for some reason I grab and say, let's watch this one again. If anyone says, okay, what should I have been doing here? What should I do there? I'll send them some kind of crazy match, and they'll think, why am I sending it? There's one I still got to find with Sheamus and Miz that is just flawless. But this is one of those that features two big stars that kind of shows a lot of psychology. We're talking about, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing and let people know exactly what time if they want to start. Getting it ready to watch. So
while you're looking that up, this one especially, because this one is it's John Cena against Dolph Ziggler, and it's during the U.S. Open Challenge. And so to me, there's a different way that you go about, you have house show matches like that. Your I guess your psychology and your mind frame. You got house show matches. You've got, regular TV matches, squash matches, and then you have a match like this. Say, this one is, what's different about it is a lot of the matches we'll go through will have psychology or a story behind it. Heat going into the match or heat coming out of it.
Right.
That kind of stuff. And this one is kind of like the best challenge on Memphis Wrestling TV. It's an open challenge, so there's no story going into the match.
Let me go ahead and tell everybody to start. I want you to keep talking about it. I want to go ahead because Cena's on talking about the open challenge, and we're going to start at 45 minutes and 43. This is season 23, episode 41 of Monday Night Raw from October the 12th, 2015. All right, and go ahead and continue about about that not being a storyline behind it.
Right. So it's a different mind frame when you go into the match because, you know, if you go in with heat already, you know, if you're in a storyline or a program with someone, you got heat already going into it. You got a different, you know, mindset as far as like how to put together the match, and also like where in the story it is and where you're going from that moment. And this one, what's different about it is with it being the open challenge, it is basically, it's kind of like the best challenge. You know, it's you going into it. First off, you also have to, like John Cena will have to even though he's wrestled Dolph Ziggler many times, you have to go into it like with the mind frame is okay. You're telling the story also that you weren't ready for this guy, so you're ready for any person. So you don't have a game.
You don't
plan
know who's going to show up, and that's part of
right.
the challenge, and that's what part of you said that's kind of where you got the best of the best challenge, mimicking what he did here, and this was fun TV for me because as a fan, you don't know who's going to walk through that door, and they had a ton of people. Who was it? Kevin Owens actually came out on his one of his debut on Raw. And it was huge, man. It was just awesome. So you don't know who's going to come out. I want you to talk a little bit about two things that really just after we watch this, this will ring home to a lot of people. Why you think John Cena, who I thought, I don't know why, but why he got such a rap about not being, I don't know if I want to say good worker or good wrestler. I think he was a great worker. Was he a wrestler's wrestler? I don't think, but was he a great showman? Yeah. Why do you think he got that? He only has so many moves. I don't think people understood John Cena, right?
Exactly, because if you look at, you know, some of the matches he's had, the match with CM Punk, the matches with AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan.
Match. Where do you watch this one?
Yeah, this one. A lot of times what people don't realize is John Cena has those great matches and has more than the, you know, so-called 5 moves of doom. But the thing is I think that like with Hogan the same way. Hogan wasn't, you know, the best catch-can wrestler, but he was a huge draw, and so was Cena. You know, I think when people are on top for so long, then fans a lot of times will either get tired of it and then they start picking apart different things. And yeah, I mean, if you look at it, like Steve Austin, one of the best workers of all time, you know, he had the stunner, he had the punches and the kicks in the corner, you know, the Luthez press, he had the same moves that he does over and over as well. And the thing is, like with Cena, you want to establish those moves so that people in the crowd, when they see those moves, they react to it. So you can also use that for like reversals. And there's been so many different times, like, you know, he goes for the you can't see me, you know, where he hits the ropes and does like the little 5-knuckle.
Then it's already over. You know, You got a guy like Cena that's already got it over. Here's something that was about Cena, and I don't know, recently we've seen some upswing, and Cena hadn't been on upswing, I think because wrestling's in the upswing, but Cena for a long time was the only guy between X amount of years, like in the new stars, that could, like if he came to your Jonesboro, for existence, he came and it was triple the attendance compared to when he wasn't on the card. So he was the guy moving the needle. Look at who's announcing, by the way, who's the ring announcer. It's Brandy Rhodes.
Yeah. Brandy Rhodes, announcing that. That's really cool to say. Yeah, Cena, I mean, he's a huge draw, and that's the thing. I mean, and what I tell people all the time too, and everybody kept saying that, oh, you know, Cena's not over because you hear "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" chants. But no, you're crazy, because that's what you hear. You hear chants about Cena and Cena only, not any opponent. Like he even said, he wanted to get to a point, you know, getting guys in the ring, like where they chanted for AJ Styles or Dolph Ziggler, you know, because whenever they chant only for Cena, "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks," it's polarizing. Whether you like him or hate him, he was moving the needle. He sold the most shirts. There was those orange shirts all over the arena.
What's this just started really slow here with just a lockup and a headlock from Ziggler. I want you to talk about Ziggler a little bit. Is this a guy you can, at this stage in 2022, is this a guy you could just good right there? So
Yeah.
If you're
Basic
watching
stuff
along
right
with us, that's just fun stuff right there. Is he someone? I hear so many people say, "Well, there's no way they could ever push him again because no one thinks he can win." But he's so good in the ring. Is this a guy they've hurt so bad from so many losses?
I don't think they have, honestly. I think Dolph Ziggler is one of the best workers in the business. I think he suffers from what a lot of really great workers suffer from, which is being too good at his job, where he's so good at selling that he's put in those roles instead of getting more of a push.
By the way, John's calling this, but if you just saw him, he said, and then he asked for, I'm going to ask you about this. So John asked for a microphone. Guys, I know a lot of times me and Austin will stop. So the best way to watch is to watch the video along with it because we're watching it and enjoying it. But he stops the whole match, and because someone just asked somebody to marry him, it's a big deal. The crowd goes crazy. Have you ever had to stop a match, Austin, where the crowd's doing something, either fighting, eating popcorn, or whatever, and try to get them back into the match like that?
Okay, so I've never stopped, like if there was a fight in the crowd or something like that, but I have stopped like what he's doing right here. This right here, I mean, it's a television match, but what they're doing is so good. They started out with the filling out process, and from right off the bat, you see the headlock when they were in the headlock. That's when, you get the attention of something going on in the crowd, and it's being able to maneuver and change. A lot of guys in the ring will just, oh no, we got to go to the next spot. We got to go do this. We got to do that. But this, Cena is so good at working the crowd that he immediately went, from the headlock,
and he went back to the crowd, and then Ziggler got the advantage, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, really smart when it comes to Cena.
Yeah, really smart. That's where you use the crowd as the distraction. So what they are doing is they're getting the crowd involved into the match. Each match, like I always tell people, it's not just one-on-one, and it's not just one-on-one plus a referee. It's one-on-one plus a referee, plus the announcers, plus the crowd is a part of the match. The crowd sells the match.
I love this right here with the commercial break. Now, I don't know if you've done TV this way, where the referee actually tells you there's fixing to be a commercial break. We go into a rest hold. I love that. I hate it when they keep wrestling like they do right now with Dynamite has a bad habit of doing spots during the commercial break. I hate that. And I went to where I watch. I hate to admit this, but I subscribe, so I can watch Dynamite on my Sling TV. But I watch the bootleg version, so I don't get commercials. So, and I mean, they ship it over to the UK. They air it. Right here is Ziggler's spot right there that he killed Jerry Lawler with. Elbow. But that is so over that right there. It's so over that when he done it, I mean, everybody thinking, oh, he's going to end this quick. There's some of those moves that we see all the time with the shoulder block, but so effing over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and and I want to talk about like the commercial break, kind of give a behind the curtain kind of thing. So I've done both ways. With Memphis, what it is we'll go to commercial, but we will have like a little bit of a break in the match and then immediately come back because, commercials will be added in later.
There. That's can we call that a hope spot for the you can't see me hope spot? Is that what that is?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different hope spots. Hope spots, most people think of, okay, it's duck one, sunset flip, 1, 2, watch the clothesline. But there's so many different ways to go into hope spots. And what they did, they literally used the Cena spot, the shoulder tackles into the you can't see me as a hope spot. And you see you going in for the finish and reverse out of it. Not time for that yet. And then right up. So the thing is like if you notice we're going slow and then all of a sudden we come back and going fast. So a lot of times what they'll do is you'll get counted down for the referee and they say, okay, we're going to break. A lot of times we'll go to a rest hold or something or working the crowd or whatever it is until it's time. So with Raw, and when you got TV where you got commercials that are literally like live that are being there, what they'll do is that commercial time will be up. We'll relax, rest kind of deal during it. And then we're coming up with something to come back. When we come back, you want to get that attention immediately. It's like as soon as you come back from commercial. So it'll be like quick spots stuff moving so a lot of times during commercial break, you'll call several things. And that's exactly what they did there. And they did the hope spot. And then right now, a lot of what they're doing is they're still in the heat, but they're having these hope spots where Cena is using his power to
they're using Ziggler is really had the advantage, but the hope spots are to the point to where it's not killing Cena at all. So and people expect that. Here's a different guy that you don't expect him to go. Even in heat with Cena, he wasn't the Hogan heat. He wasn't the heat where he was so dead and then made the comeback. He was more, and you realize this when watching this, he was more of one of those guys who did a bunch of spots and then took heat, came out of it with a few hope spots, took some more heat, back and forth, which is a little bit different than normal psychology. And after watching this match, I was thinking to myself, maybe that would have been one of those things where guys would say, "Oh, he can't work. What's he doing? He can't work." Because he didn't take as much heat as most baby faces did. And also with Cena he was always in those shorts and those tennis shoes. How many times have you been told to wear wrestling boots? Is what I want to know.
Yeah, many times. Wear gear, bro, But the thing is it's a buffet. You've got to have a little bit of everything in the show. You've got to have the tights. You got to have the muscled rip,
the fat guys, the old guys. Yes. All right, here we go. He's going to do an avalanche, as they call it now. Trying to do an avalanche.
And I love this spot right here. If you're watching, you need to go back and watch this spot.
A DDT from Cena sitting on the top there. So
and have you seen how much right there is big hope spot, or not hope spot? I guess you'd say a big pop, big false finish, where he jumps flat-footed all the way up to where Cena's sitting on the top rope and hooks the DDT and goes back with it. It's so smooth. I mean, I love that
Cena was so ready for it too, because he had talked himself into, we're going to do this DDT off the top rope, but I'm going to lean my head in, so it makes it a little bit easier for me. But I know normal people don't realize that or even notice that, but I thought that was really neat.
And Cena is probably the best base in the wrestling business. He is so strong that you're able to do moves like that.
Yeah. I want you to talk about that. Hold on, I want to watch this part because we talked about this on another episode. It's not just the moves; it's what you do in between the moves. And we saw a kind of a rest hold or a rest area where Dolph Ziggler was doing the Shawn Michaels, because you spend time letting the crowd sell it. You end up with a real quick comeback with Cena, and you got a double down right here. Very smart. Very, very smart.
Yeah, it's what's in between. Like, anyone can sit there and just go move for move, spot for spot, but you have to let the crowd, we have our rest spots, the headlock takeover, that kind of stuff, our rest holds. Those moments in between, you've got to let the crowd, you got to let them breathe and rest. And then you've got to let them process in their mind what you just did. You just did that big DDT. If you went right into the super kick, and then people are going to forget the DDT part of it because they're having to process so quickly. But what I love about it is they're able to.
Oh, he just caught him in midair. That's like you said, a base. Talk to everybody, and they may not understand what you just said. What is a good base wrestler? What do you mean by that? That was a sweet spot too. He came out into a famouser out of trying to get a DVD on himself.
A good base is a guy like, what it is it's a guy really strong, or he's very safe. Kane was always known as a great base, a guy that's so strong that.
Watch this.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
DVD into the famous, very sweet, very sweet,
very beautiful, and that's exactly what we're talking about. The base right there. Cena's so strong that. Dolph Ziggler did none of that. All he did, Cena put him up
he
there.
Didn't do nothing. Right, you're right. Here's the deal with might describe it better too. Also, with the base, a lot of the lucha guys, they want somebody. The base is the guy that's catching the guy that's helping them flip around and stuff. That might be that's one of those things where but I never thought of you as you saying. This is, like I said, that's what I love about me and you sitting down doing this. Is you come up with something that I totally would have never thought. Oh, Cena was a good base. Wait,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess he was.
Yeah, he was a great base.
And he tried his hold earlier, doing and Ziggler got out of the hold, just easily got out of the hold. But this time we're going to sell it a little bit more, rest a little bit more in the middle of it, but keep a. Here's the deal. Also, neither one of those two guys. When I say rest, I don't mean you constantly stop what you're doing. Do you see the facial expressions on these two guys? They're constantly doing something, selling it. Cena's got the, I'm fixing to beat him, and Ziggler's, crawling for the ring. Also got an expression on his face, and that's, I've talked about that before. Like sometimes that's missing with stuff, or it's overdid. Like I think the babyface reaction when they go for the pin is overdone now. Like they go for it and they don't get it, and there's a.
The shock.
Let's stop it. Let's stop it for a while.
That's all I can do nowadays, though, is a facial expression. So I've got to be able to do it.
All right, he's going back to the spot that we tried to do earlier.
Right.
It's not a superplex, but a suplex from the top rope. His feet weren't on the top rope. So then again, he spoiled it.
Once
so
again,
effing strong.
Yeah, the base. He's that base, and a lot of
going again for the DVD. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And and Ziggler showing that he's the quicker guy. Cena's the stronger one. Ziggler's the quicker guy. And like you were talking about the rest. It's not really a rest because like with the STF, I use the STF, and a lot of times the facial expressions and the selling and the yelling and that will blow you up more than bumping around.
Because, me walking to the ring used to blow me up, so that's why I'm walking to the ring. It is something too that people don't. If you've never been in a business, you do not understand the blow up from just. Sometimes you get so excited, the crowd is popping so hard that when you get to the ring, you're breathing so hard that you go, I gotta settle down. These people, Or you go out and there's two people in the crowd. That always used to make me blow up too. So punching, we're coming out of it. Good stuff. This is actually Fighting Spirit, New Japan thing to do, and I thought it was hilarious because it was 2015. But I would have to go back and watch Cena. Did you see Cena also put his hands up for that super kick, which I thought was funny?
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that, guys. Nothing wrong with putting your hands up instead of getting kicked in the face. But
and then the Fighting Spirit spot, like you're talking about, it's the this right
back and forth. Yeah. Oh God, see, that's real New Japan. This stuff right at the end was really. That was a headbutt. That was back and forth. Remember, during the whole match, I think we referred to it 3 or 4 times so far. He's going for that finisher in the heat, in the part of the match. He's constantly trying to go for the finisher.
Yeah, and he hit it once, and then of course, I'll go back to that real quick. The Ziggler doing the smart heel thing of rolling out of the ring, so Cena had to go get him, so it doesn't hurt the finish. That they're still fighting now after Cena's already hit the finisher. It doesn't hurt your finish any because, you got that, time to recover kind of thing. And then boom, quick, right into it. Just like that.
And it's over.
Yeah.
And that's what it was almost like a double. They were just all really just so super tired, and boom, he ran right into it. 1, 2, 3. We didn't have any popping out of the DVD. Which we have a lot of finishing moves people pop out of, but both of the guys laying there, excellent match, fun match, and I bet no one would, it's not one of those things on everybody's radar. And like I said, I will have some more matches like this that I found that teach young guys about psychology and gives us something to talk about also. But it's just one of those things where people don't think about guys like Miz, Sheamus, Barrett. Those guys all know the basics and follow that psychology. Next month, you don't know this yet, so I'm going to go ahead and announce it. If you're listening to this on the main feed, guys, get Patreon. You'll get it up to 1 month and be able to actually watch the video. I'm having to put it on Daily Motion because they won't let me put it on YouTube. But you watch the video with us as we talk about it. Next month, I'm going to pick a ladies match, and we're going to talk about one of your projects that you do on I don't know if you do it on a monthly basis. Do you do it? Liberty is a monthly or what?
Which one is it?
With you and Nikki doing Liberty Wrestling?
Oh, yeah, it was usually about once a month or once every 5 or 6 weeks, which right now with football season going on, so I'm not able to
right, but we're going to talk about that because I think there's a misconception. There was somebody Patreon said something, and I said something about it to you with it being a fetish wrestling. And it was we're going to talk about apartment wrestling, the kind of what women's wrestling has evolved to right now, and we're also going to talk about what you and Nikki do for Liberty. Then we'll watch a girls match, and we'll tell the psychology of the girls match and so forth and so on. But guys, thank you. I've got to get to my shoot job, by the way. And Austin told me before we started recording he had 2 flats today, so I'm so sorry, Austin. Thanks for showing up though after 2 flats.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I love doing the podcast too, and then especially you get guys up there doing the the best of the best tier of the Patreon. We got a lot of special stuff
we got
coming up with that.
Yeah. If you listen to the main feed at the best of the best tier, you can join us. You can pick the match. You can talk about the match with us for 6 months. If you do it for 6 months, me and Austin's going to design an exclusive T-shirt. It will only go to you. And
exactly.
Austin might get one, I might get one, but it'll only go to you. And then autograph photo. Every month he'll call you or text you a promo of some kind. It'll be fun, guys. If you want to join the best of best, it's $8. The smaller tier is $5. So thanks a lot, guys. Thank you, Austin. I love you, man.
Love you, man. Appreciate it, guys.